Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Team Gullit YouTube channel. My name is Renzo and today we're back with another FIFA 22 tutorial. Last video was a bit different than usual, but yeah, we want to give you guys advice on the questions that we get asked. And trust me, the question about a gaming monitor, we get them so often. But now we also get the question, how can I get better at defending? What is good to do in defense? How am I conceding so many goals? Well, we try to explain you always, like in the regular defending tutorials, what you should do, second man press, stuff like that. But I think I figured out that actually these tips that I'm going to hand you out in this video are actually tips that I think pro players almost take them for common sense. But these tips, trust me, you'll become a very good defender once you get a hang on how to use these different D-pad instructions. So, like always, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So like I said, these are all D-pad instructions. And how do you use the D-pad? You press down on the D-pad, so that is the pretty much the down button, and then you get this drop-down menu, and we're starting off with striker drop back. This instruction is the one that you press down on the D-pad and then upwards. You'll see it, the menu is pretty self-explanatory, but the striker drop back function. So in this sequence before, you saw that the strikers were actually, well, probably like 5 meters off the midfielders of the opponent, or actually we were the ones that was in play with midfield, as you can see right now as well. The strikers didn't put pressure on Renato Sanchez and the midfielders next to him. Right now, no pressure from the strikers, but if you use striker drop back, and ideally in defense you want to put pressure with the strikers on these midfielders, because if you're going to give them so much time that they can just play and search for a pass, yeah, it's likely to get dangerous. And this is even on our attacking side. But also, if we are going to let our opponent, in this case, drop back or give him the space with the midfield, it's likely that he's going to get a chance. So we use striker drop back to have these strikers actually mark the midfielders tighter, so he gets less time to actually work with. Because if we switch now to our strikers, we're actually already like on this midfielder and he has to make a turn. And yeah, you saw there we also used an offside trap, but that's coming in later in this video. But it's all about, in defense, you want to make it as hard for the opponent as possible. Because it might not be your favorite strategy, like I said, but hey, it's preferably effective, and trust me, you'll be able to counter-attack anyway, even though your strikers are dropping back. FIFA 22 is just a very heavy counter-attacking game. And you just want to make it every time your opponent has possession as difficult as possible for him. So just try it out. Moving on to one of the most important things, in my opinion, in defense. Offside traps. You press the D-pad button downwards, you get the menu obviously, and then you press it downwards again to perform an offside trap. It takes about a second or so to actually have your defensive line perform an offside trap. But when do you want to use this? Like in this case, we noticed Vini was down the wing, and the only thing he could play is a through ball in behind or a direct pass into the striker. Press the offside trap at exactly the right moment, because when your opponent is down the wing, you want your defensive line to push up. In this case, for example, we notice that his striker is in space. He could play the pass now, which makes it a risky timing. Not gonna lie, this offside trap could have been pretty risky. Might have had Goretzka play the ball a little bit earlier, and then we wouldn't be able to intercept it. But you want to keep a high defensive line, because right now, like you see, we pushed up a bit, and then he is not able to play into the box. The thing is with offside traps is that you want to maintain a higher defensive line, so the strikers don't push up into your box. And especially in FIFA 22, people can play a driven pass into the strikers and get dangerous. So like you can see here in this example, Kimpembe and that other center back that we have are actually around the penalty spot, like in case of how far they are pushed up. And the strikers as well. But he has his back towards goal, so he can't perform anything. So you want to use an offside trap, because if you don't, you'll just give time and space for the opponent to pick up a shot from outside the box, which can be effective on FIFA 22, or just keep turning and twisting until he finds that driven pass to his strikers. If you keep your defensive line high to like at least the edge of the box, like you can see like we're doing here, even in the build-up, keeping at the high defensive line, making it difficult for the opponent to actually, yeah, get it around the dangerous area. Last but not least, overload ball side. And if you've played FIFA 20, you very much know that this was a very effective tactic back then. Right now, still the same, D-pad downwards, and then you press it to the right side to activate overload ball side. And what does this actually mean? They pretty much, all of your defenders and players, even your strikers, will move to one side where the ball is actually at right now. So Sane, for example, now has possession on the left-hand side, right-hand side for us, and look at how our team is shaped right now on the radar. Everybody's there. And you even see in this example right here that this striker is like in between 4 or 5 defenders. And that's the thing with overload ball side, like literally everybody drops back and it helps defensively. So even our strikers. And overload ball side is a tricky tactic because if you use this throughout the game, your stamina is being drained heavily. So that is something to, yeah, FIFA implemented to counter this park the bus, because basically it is a heavy park the bus strategy. But you want to use this, especially if you're like 3-2 up in this game, 89th minute, you want to use it in the dying seconds of the game. Or maybe even at each half, because 45th minute, yeah, it's a pretty risky minute. There's a lot of goals being scored competitively and even casually. So you want to always use overload ball side in the dying seconds of a game, or even each half. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these extra defensive tips that we given you. I'm very sure that if you master this, you're going to get great results and improve a lot as a FIFA player. But like always, see you guys in the next video. Ciao, ciao.